Let's talk about losing. You don't lose your life in one giant explosion. You don't wake up on a Tuesday and ruin your future. It never happens like that. It happens quietly. It happens softly. It happens in the shadows of your day, in the empty spaces, the spaces between what you should do and what you promise to do later. You lose it 1% at a time. Think about the last time you swore to change. I mean, really swore it. Not a fake promise, not a weekend goal. I mean, that moment in the mirror. You looked at yourself. You felt sick to your stomach. You promised tomorrow would be different. Tomorrow would be the start. Tomorrow, you wake up early. Tomorrow, you build the foundation. Tomorrow, you become who you are supposed to be. Tomorrow, the hesitation finally dies. And then tomorrow arrived. The alarm screamed in the dark. The room was cold. The bed was warm. And you made a choice. A tiny compromise. Just 5 more minutes. Just one more snooze. Just one quick scroll on your phone. It felt harmless. It always feels harmless. A 1% decline feels like nothing. But it wasn't just 5 minutes. It was a negotiation with your identity, and you lost. You traded your future. You traded it for pathetic comfort. And here is the terrifying part. The sky did not fall. You didn't lose your house. Life just kept going. The world does not punish you for being average. It just lets you be average. It lets you fade away. You sink into the background noise. Just another ordinary person, living a forgotten life. This is the silent erosion of your future. A slow, daily drip of low standards. You are probably terrified of failure. You are scared of risking it all. You are scared of falling on your face. But dramatic failure is not the danger. The real danger is the slow slide, the painless drop into permanent regret. The real danger is the blur. Monday turns into Friday. January turns into December. Suddenly, 5 years are gone. You wake up, you look around, you are in the exact same place. Just older, just more tired, carrying a suffocating weight. The weight of knowing you never really tried. You never found out what you could be. You didn't fail from a lack of talent. You failed because you chose comfort. You accepted a 1% decline every single day. You convinced yourself today did not matter. One skipped workout did not matter. One wasted hour did not matter. You told yourself a lie. You said tomorrow would magically change. Tomorrow is a lie. Tomorrow does not exist. The only place you have power is right now. Today, this exact second. In a few minutes, I will show you a mathematical truth. I will show you how you are dismantling your future, and I will give you the single daily shift to reverse it. But first, look at this morning. Look at the exact moment you woke up. That was the moment you decided who you were going to be today. Let's talk about the waiting room. You have been sitting there for years, waiting for the perfect moment, waiting for the right mood, waiting for the stars to align. You tell yourself you are just preparing. You are just gathering information. You are planning your next big move. But let me give you the brutal truth. There is no perfect moment. The stars do not care about your plans. You watch videos like this one. You consume endless hours of motivation. You scroll through quotes. You read the books. You listen to the elite podcasts. You fill your brain with high-level strategies. And then what happens? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. You close the app. You put down the phone. And you walk right back into the exact same average life. You are confusing consumption with action. You substitute the feeling of learning for the act of doing. You feel productive because you watched a video about hard work. But you did not work hard. You just sat there. That is a psychological trap. It is a comfortable, paralyzing drug. While you are preparing, other people are building. Look around you. People with half your talent are winning. People with a fraction of your intelligence are succeeding. They are passing you by right now. Not because they are chosen, not because they are special, but because they are moving. They refuse to sit in the waiting room. They started when things were messy. They started when they were terrified. They started long before they felt ready, but you are still here, still waiting for a sign, still waiting for permission. Who are you waiting to give you permission? Nobody is coming to save you. Nobody is going to knock on your door and hand you a purpose. Do you feel that ache in your chest, that heavy, daily physical exhaustion? You think you are tired from your job. You think you are tired from stress. You are wrong. That is the exhaustion of carrying unfulfilled potential. Potential is heavy. When you don't use it, it turns toxic. It poisons your mindset. It drains your energy. It makes you exhausted the second you open your eyes in the morning. Because deep down, your subconscious knows the truth. You know you are playing a character that is too small for you. You look at elite performers and think they have a secret. They do not. They just realize that someday is a disease. Someday will take your dreams to the graveyard. Look at the last 12 months of your life. Be completely honest. What actually changed? What did you actually build with your own two hands? Or did you just survive? Did you just repeat the same average week 52 times and call it a year? That is not living. That is just a slow death. The pain of discipline hurts, but the pain of regret is a life sentence. Regret does not yell at you. It whispers to you at 2 a.m. when the house is totally dark. It asks you what you could have been. It asks you why you quit so easily. And you just stare at the ceiling with no answer. You are a spectator in your own life. You are sitting in the cheap seats, watching the game happen without you. It is time to step onto the field. It is time to take a hit. It is time to bleed a little bit for your own future. In the next few minutes, I'm going to tear down the biggest lie you believe. The lie that keeps you trapped in that chair. But right now, you need to feel this specific pain. You need to let it burn. Because that burn is the only alarm clock loud enough to wake you up. Let's talk about the biggest lie you tell yourself. You believe in the movie montage. You believe in a sudden, dramatic leap. You think one day you will just wake up. You will wake up with an iron will. You will suddenly become a machine. You think a switch will just flip in your brain. And all your bad habits will vanish. You will train every day. You will build an empire. You will never feel lazy again. That is a fantasy. That is a childish delusion. And it is exactly why you keep failing. Massive overhauls do not work. They never work. You get inspired at midnight. You write down 20 different goals. You throw out all your junk food. You set your alarm for 4 in the morning. You swear you are a completely new person. For 3 days, you feel like a god. You are running on pure adrenaline. You are running on the emotion of starting. But emotion burns out. Motivation is a cheap, temporary fuel. On day 4, the excitement dies. The alarm rings and the adrenaline is gone. And you are left with the cold, hard reality. The reality is that changing your life is boring. It is completely, utterly unglamorous. It is not exciting. You are addicted to the feeling of starting, the rush of a new plan, the high of a clean slate, the dopamine hit of telling people what you're going to do. But you're allergic to the boredom of continuing. You hate the grind. You hate repetition. Real growth is not a dramatic montage. There is no epic music playing in the background. Nobody is cheering for you. Nobody cares about your early alarm. Real growth is ugly. It is lonely. It is quiet. It is staring at a blank screen. It is lifting a weight when your muscles scream. It is choosing water over poison. It is doing the exact same repetitive task for the 100th time and seeing absolutely zero results. That is the part they cut out of the movies. The long, silent valley of invisible effort. You put in the work on Monday. You look in the mirror on Tuesday. Nothing changed. You put in the work for an entire month. You look at your bank account. Nothing changed. You look at your skills. They still feel painfully average. This is exactly where you always quit. You look at the lack of visible results. You feel stupid. You feel like you're wasting your precious time. Your brain tells you it is not working. So you drop it. You give up. You go right back to the couch. You go back to the scrolling. You wait for the next burst of midnight motivation. to start the pathetic cycle all over again. You do not need a massive overhaul. You do not need to change 20 things tomorrow. You just need to stop quitting when it gets boring. Boredom is the ultimate filter. Boredom separates the elite from the weak. The weak need constant excitement to keep going. The weak need constant applause. The elite know that the magic happens in the monotony. They fall in love with the boredom. They execute the boring basics with deadly precision. Day after day, week after week, you keep looking for a magic pill, a secret routine, a hidden hack. There is no hack. The secret is doing the boring work when you do not want to. The secret is doing it when nobody is watching. The secret is staying in the room when everyone else leaves. In a moment, I will show you the exact reason why your brain fights this. I will show you the hidden mismatch that makes you self-sabotage. But right now, you need to accept reality. Kill the fantasy of the overnight leap. Prepare yourself for the long, quiet grind. Because that is the only place real power is built. Let's talk about why you self-sabotage. You think your problem is motivation? You think you just need more discipline? You think you're simply lazy? You are wrong about all of it. You do not have a motivation problem. You have an identity problem. Your brain is a survival machine. It does not care about your massive goals. It does not care about your vision board. It cares about strict alignment. It constantly monitors your actions to see if they match your identity. It wants your behavior to perfectly match who you secretly believe you are. And who do you secretly believe you are? Deep down, in the dark, below the fake confidence, below the social media posts, you believe you're someone who quits. You believe you're someone who cuts corners. You believe you are strictly average. So when you try to do something elite, when you try to wake up at 4 a.m., when you try to eat clean, when you try to work relentlessly, your brain panics. It violently rejects the action because that action does not match your internal identity. Your nervous system pulls you back. It pulls you back to your pathetic comfort zone. It forces you to self-sabotage so you can feel like yourself again, even if yourself is miserable. This is the negative 1% compound effect. Every single time you break a promise to yourself, every single time you hit the snooze button, you think you're just losing an hour of sleep. You are not. You are gathering solid evidence against yourself. You are teaching your brain that your word means absolutely nothing. You are proving to your subconscious that you are a liar. When you tell yourself you will work out and you don't, you cast a vote for the identity of a loser. When you say you will work on your business and you scroll instead, you cast a vote for the identity of a consumer. Day by day, choice by choice. You are cementing an identity of pure weakness. Think about the internal shame, the quiet disgust you feel when you fail again. That is your identity fracturing. You're tearing yourself apart from the inside. You desperately want one thing, but you act out another. A mind divided against itself cannot build an empire. It can barely survive the morning. You cannot outwork your own self-image. If you see yourself as a procrastinator, no productivity hack will save you. If you see yourself as a failure, no business strategy will make you rich. Your identity will always win. It will always pull you back to the baseline you created. You have been trying to change your results without changing your identity. You are trying to act like a winner while carrying the mental wiring of a quitter. It is exhausting. It is a brutal war you will never win. You have to stop focusing on what you want to achieve. You have to start focusing on who you need to become. You need to become someone who actually keeps promises to themselves. Someone whose word is unbreakable iron. In a few minutes, I'm going to hand you the exact 90-day protocol to fix this. I will give you the exact daily steps to rewire your brain. But right now, you need to understand the brutal math of what it takes to change. You need to understand the 1% rule, because the math does not lie. Let's talk about math. The brutal, unglamorous math of winning. You want the massive outcome. You want the elite physique. You want the absolute freedom. You want the respect of everyone in the room. But you are staring at the top of the mountain, and the mountain is terrifying. It is so high that you freeze. You look at the distance between where you are and where you want to be, and your brain simply shuts down. You think you have to close that entire gap today. You think you need a massive, heroic leap, but you don't. You need 1%. 1% is almost nothing. It is practically invisible. It is reading just 2 pages of a dense book. It is doing 1 more rep when your muscles scream for you to stop. It is waking up exactly 10 minutes earlier. It is sitting in silence when you desperately want to complain. It is a simple rounding error on a random Tuesday afternoon. But this is exactly where the elite separate themselves from the weak. They understand the terrifying, relentless power of compounding. Compounding is not a cute metaphor. It is a violent, unbreakable law of nature. If you get just 1% better every single day for 1 calendar year, you do not become a little bit better. You become 37 times better. 37 times. You become a completely unrecognizable machine. But here's the trap. You do not see the 37 times on day 2. You do not see it on day 30. You only see the boring, ugly, unrewarding 1%. And because you only see the 1%, you quit. You tell yourself it is not working. You let the silence of the results convince you to stop. You need to stop looking at the mountain. Take your eyes off the massive end goal right now. The goal is actually a distraction. The goal makes you weak because it makes you terribly impatient. You need to obsess over the microscopic daily standard. You need to become a cold, calculating machine of consistency. Consistency does not care about your feelings. Consistency does not care if you slept poorly last night. Consistency only asks one singular question. Did you do the work today? Yes or no? There is no gray area. There are no excuses. This is exactly how you build unstoppable confidence. Real confidence is not a magical aura. It is not a fake smile you put on for the world. Confidence is just a massive stack of undeniable proof. Proof that you are exactly who you say you are. When you execute the 1% every single day, when you do the boring work entirely in the dark, you are stacking undeniable proof. You are looking in a mirror and saying, I keep my word. You do that for a week, you feel different. You do that for a month, you walk into a room differently. You do that for a year, you become genuinely dangerous. You become someone who cannot be broken by anything external, because your power is generated entirely from the inside. You shift from being a pathetic consumer to a relentless builder. You stop chasing the cheap high of midnight motivation. You start relying on the cold, heavy steel of discipline. Discipline is the only friend that will never lie to you. In a minute, I am going to give you the exact framework. I will give you the precise physical steps to execute this today. No more vague philosophy. No more floating ideas. We are going to ground this in brutal, daily reality. But right now, you need to make a final choice. Are you willing to be bored? Are you willing to embrace the invisible 1%? Let's stop talking about theory. Theory will never save you. Philosophy will not drag you out of bed when you are dead tired. Motivation will not pay your bills or build your physique. You need a brutal, physical system. You need to stop floating in ideas. You need to ground yourself in absolute daily reality. This is your 90-day micro protocol. It is not a polite suggestion. It is a mandatory operating system for your life starting today. Step 1, master the morning. You cannot win your life if you lose the first 3 seconds of your day. Set your alarm for the exact same time every single day. I do not care if it is a weekend. I do not care if it is raining. I do not care if you stayed up late scrolling. The time is the time. When that alarm screams, you do not negotiate. You do not lay there and calculate how many hours you slept. You do not ask yourself how you feel. You put your feet on the cold floor immediately. You are dictating the terms of the day. You are telling your brain that you are in absolute control. That first brutal victory sets the psychological tone for the next 16 hours. Step 2, the 1% isolation. You need to pick one single skill or habit. 1, not 5, not 10, just one single thing. You always fail because you try to rebuild your entire life in 24 hours. You write a massive list of new rules and you break every single one of them by Wednesday. Stop doing that. It is a loser's game. Pick one isolated target. Maybe it is reading 10 pages of a difficult book. Maybe it is lifting heavy weights. Maybe it is building your YouTube channel. Lock onto that one specific target, isolated from all the chaotic noise of your life. For the next 90 days, this is your only mandatory mission. You're going to execute this one thing with terrifying precision. Step 3, the daily proof action. This is your unbreakable contract with yourself. You must dedicate exactly 15 uninterrupted minutes to your isolated habit every single day. 15 minutes is a joke. It is a quarter of an hour. You spend more time than that staring at the ceiling. You spend more time than that refreshing a feed that gives you absolutely nothing back. But 15 minutes of highly focused, aggressive execution is enough to rewrite your identity. It proves to your subconscious that you are changing. It is undeniable, physical evidence that you're actually doing the work. You do this for 90 days. No days off, no exceptions for holidays or bad moods. You execute the 15 minutes even if it is ugly. Even if the work is completely terrible, the quality does not matter in the beginning. The repetition is the only thing that matters. You are building the iron muscle of consistency. If you run this protocol, you will be unrecognizable in 3 months. You will look in the mirror and finally see someone you respect. In a moment, you're going to reach the end. I am going to force you to make the final choice, the ultimate decision about what you do the second the screen goes black. Prepare yourself. Let's get to the absolute truth. We are at the end. The video is almost over. The screen is going to go entirely black, and you're going to be left completely alone with the exact same choices you had 10 minutes ago. Alone with the exact same habits. Alone with the exact same excuses. What happens next is the only thing that actually matters. Most people will do what they always do. They will feel a temporary rush of fake motivation. They will tell themselves a beautiful lie. They will swear that today is the day everything changes. And then they will scroll down to the comments. They will click on the next recommended video. They will let the algorithm feed them another hit of cheap dopamine. They will consume another piece of content just to feel productive. And they will do absolutely nothing. Do not be most people. Most people are asleep. Most people are dying a slow, quiet death of average choices. You do not have time to be average anymore. Look at your life. Look at the years that have already vanished. They are gone. You can never get them back. Every single second you waste is a second you are stealing from your future self. You are actively robbing the elite person you are supposed to become. Stop waiting for the perfect conditions. The conditions will never be perfect. Stop waiting for a savior. Nobody's coming to save you. You are the only one who can pull yourself out of this miserable hole. You are the only one who can build the foundation. You are the only one who can look in the mirror and finally tell the truth. You have the 1% rule. You have the 90-day protocol. You know exactly what you need to do. The gap between knowing and doing is where your dreams go to rot. Close the gap. Close it right now. You want unstoppable confidence? You do not get it from a motivational quote. You earn it in the dark. You earn it when you are dead tired. You earn it when your muscles ache and your brain begs you to quit. You earn it when you force yourself to execute anyway. You wake up early in the cold morning. You beat the sun. You dictate the exact terms of your reality. You absolutely refuse to be a victim of your own laziness for one more day. This is your final warning. This is the ultimate reality check you have been running from. The clock is constantly ticking. Your potential is rotting inside of you. The world does not care about your good intentions. The world does not care about your massive plans. The world only respects cold, hard execution. So I am going to ask you one last time, who are you going to be? The person who talks about building an empire, or the person who actually picks up a brick and builds it? The choice is entirely yours, but you have to make it right this second. Not tomorrow morning, not next Monday, not when you feel fully rested. Now, the motivation ends here. The talking ends here. You have consumed enough. It is time to pay the price of admission. Stop consuming. Start executing. Put your phone down. Turn off the screen. Get up and go do the work.